Hey everyone, welcome back to Valheim. Beeblebum here, and today I want to take some time to show you how to build yourself a breeder. Now, today's breeder will be able to be used for both boars or wolves, so you can use the same design if you want to breed the one or the other. Now, why would you want to build a breeder like this? Well, if you have a certain number of animals, let's say 10 boars or wolves in a pen of 8 by 8 meters, then the animals will no longer procreate until they have a larger pen or there are fewer animals in the pen. So, what we want to do is make a distance between the breeder and their offspring to avoid that limit. Now, for this to work, we need to have a minimum of 10 meters between them to ensure that. And the best way to do that is to build a distance vertically. So, before we're going to do anything here, let me just explain. I am in the meadows right now, and we're going to be looking for a reasonably flat area. We don't want to build on a hill, because that is also going to influence our terrain manipulation. We don't want to build too close to the water, because otherwise we cannot dig deep enough. We want to be able to dig 8 meters deep, and we want to make sure that it's also equal 8 meters in every spot. So the first thing we need to do is dig ourselves a hole, and we're going to use the pickaxe for that. Now, if you don't know much about terrain manipulation, then you might want to check out the guide I made about it, so you can learn some of the basic knowledge and other tips and tricks that really can improve your skills into it. Now, I will drop a link in the pinned comment below if you are interested in watching it. Alright, so we are now at the bottom of this hole. This is 8 by 8 meter, at least at the bottom. If you put some core wood, you can actually measure, or you use any other wood, you can measure the size of this. You can just place the core wood here. And the core wood here, you should normally, if you can snap one, you can see it snaps right there. So we are approximately 8.5. That's okay. We're going to snap another one here so we can measure this side. You can see this is also 8 meter. Now, the first thing we will need to do is we need to look for the highest point. And I think if we look at this, that should be the highest point right there. So let's go there. This seems to be the highest point. And we're going to start from here. Now, the reason why we built on the highest point is just to ensure that the breeder will be 10 meters above the terrain of the pit here. So we are sure that also when we put the animals into the pens, they will breed and make offspring. So we're going to take a core wood and we're going to look at here. You can see we have this gray line here. You see the gray line of the rock. You have the gray line here. We're going to look at that, see where we can find the connection. So gray here, gray there. So if we push core wood somewhere here, that should be pretty okay. I might just move it just a tad, a little bit more inwards, like that. Like that. I think that's going to be okay. All right. So now we're going to extend from here. We're going to add core wood on this one. We're going to add another core wood on that one. That makes it 8 meters now. And we can add 2 meters against it. That's going to be 10 meters. And then you can see we're almost here. So this is like, instead of 10 meters, it's about 11 meters we're going to have to overlap. So I'm going to snap a little piece of core wood here. And we're going to take a log pole of 4 meters and just snap it below it. There we go. Now, the reason why I'm using the log wood of 4 meters is because the small one, if I snap it underneath, you will see it's going to be too short. It doesn't touch the terrain, you see. All right. So now we can remove this all. And we're going to do the same to the other side. We're going to just snap core wood against here and make another 11 meter distance. Snap another core wood below it. See, we already have some issues, so I might just have to put a core wood here for the moment, just to support this. And then we'll snap that piece again. I'm not able to, maybe let's see. Is this blue? This is blue. All right, we're good. All right, let's do one more. Go in that direction. That should allow us to snap another one underneath, which should be blue. Good. So if a pillar is blue, you know that it is also grounded. So it's touching the ground. All right. So now we have these 4 pillars, the 4 core woods, all on the same height. Perfect. Now, if you want, you can also build some iron in here. If you have wood iron, you can snap wood iron in here just to make sure that it's 100% supported. You don't actually need to. This should normally be enough for holding this farm up. But if you want to be 100% sure, you can always put a piece of wood iron in here and then also have a piece of wood iron later following the direction we're going later. But that's up to you if you feel like doing that. So we're going to take a 45 beam, and we're going to snap this beam in a 45-degree angle following this. So we're going to point the beam to the center and snap it on that core wood. Like that. Do the same here. Make sure that it's pointing to the center. Yep. So now we have these 4 beams angled inwards. Now we should be able to snap one of these, the log beams, 4 meters. Just make sure it's straight. And then snap it on that core wood right there. And snap that wood there. So that should normally perfectly connect these two together. Let's do this again. Alright, so we're going to climb up the ladder, select a piece of floor, and we're going to start building a framework. We're going to snap the floor here in the corner, like that. So we can already jump on it, and now we're going to just close this off. Not fully, we're just going to make a square. Alright, like this. So we want to keep this open because this is where our boar farm will be in the center. So all the boars or the wolves will fall down to the pit here below. Now the next thing we want to do, we want to snap some beams on the sides here of the floors. And then we're going to snap some core wood on the bottom. Underneath there. As you can see, it snaps underneath that wood. And that should be enough. That should hold up. This should be all okay. Let me just see the color. We're getting a little bit reddish. So this might be starting to become quite challenging. So what we might do first before we finish this is just build a few roofs just to get some extra support. What you can do, you can also just take a 45-degree angle, snap it against there and just build another beam like that. And we just snap one on the bottom like this. So you have created an extra support. You can see everything is starting to turn more greenish, and you can do this on each side if you want to. Because when we're done, when everything is finished, we will snap some roofs on these as well, like this. And then we will close this off with some walls as well. So everything is supported, and you will see that everything is going to be way more green and safe. So let's see the color. So this is still pretty yellow, orangey. This seems to be blue, green. So once again, I would say if you can, put some wood iron. Normally it should be okay. Alright, so now what we're going to do underneath, we're going to snap a little piece of wood below that. You can see that's going to snap right there, a half meter or a meter. That should normally hold up. Now we're going to take a piece of core wood and we're going to snap that piece of core wood there. But we can actually, if you want, use a full 2 meters. That should connect to that, and it will be red, which is not too amazing, but it should be okay. It's going to be holding up. Let's now snap another one of these, a meter, 2 meters against that, like that. And we take another core wood of 4 meters and snap it against that, there. Now we can remove these two, and these will be held up. They are not too great in color, but that should be okay. Alright, let's continue and build our cross in the center. We're going to start with a beam here, then rotate that beam 90 degrees and snap it against it. I'm going to build one here, I'm going to build one here, and I'm going to build one here. Alright, now I'm going to break this again, because we later on still want to push the boars or the wolves, but the wolves will be different a little bit. We push the boars in right here. Alright. Alright, so we're going to snap a small beam here, like that, and now we're going to make our second cross. We can start with the core wood first of all. Just let some core wood snapping here, a little bit of here, a little bit here, one here. And then we can take some short core wood, one beam pole here, and just snap them underneath right here. Now we can delete the one there. The ones in the center here, we can delete that. Alright. So that is now holding up everything. So it's holding up the cross in the center here. That means that if the boars are here, they will be able to walk around, but they won't fall down. And also the piglets won't stay on the beams, they fall down as well, which is going to really improve the efficiency of your boar farm. Now we're going to still snap a piece of wood on top. Like that, just to finish it off a little bit. like this. And now we can snap one here, and we can snap one here, and we can snap one here. And now we can take a 2-meter pole standing up, and we just snap these on the corners, because these later on will be the supports for our roof as well. All right, so this seems to be pretty okay. This is what our boar farm will look like. Here we will push our boars in these slots. Now we need to prepare, of course, a little bit of a ramp so we can push them up. So let's just go down. Now, to build this ramp, we're going to be using a roof panel of 26 degrees, and we're going to snap it right there on the top. Now, don't use a 45 degrees because that is going to cause you and the boars to slide down. Just use the 26 degrees. That's a nice smooth slope, and that's going to allow you to easily walk up to it. Like that. So now this is all supported. So we can now just push the board up there. Now what we're going to do as well, we're going to build a little bit of an enclosure so that we are not going to be in trouble when we're pushing these board up and they run down again. And the same what we're going to do, we're going to build another roof here so we can just push them straight up. We don't want to, you know, do a little bit of a detour and push them like this. We want them to just push them straight up and to the pen. All right, so that's that. Now, what I'm going to use, I'm going to use the fencing here, round pole fencing, and I'm going to build some round pole fencing here. And we build some here, like that. And we can make a small pen where we're going to be putting our boars in later on. All right, so we can put the boars in here later. What I'm going to do as well, we're going to build some extra doors here, just to ensure that they don't walk up or down while you're doing the work. So let's close this off. That's where we're going to put the boards in. And we're going to build some more fencing on the side, just to make sure that they don't drop off. Like that. All right, so now we have this one. We're going to have to do the same on the other side. So we have the same location. Then we will put 2 boars in here. We will put 2 boars on the other side, and then we can just push them up. So what we're going to do, we're going to start now pushing these boars into these slots. One here, one here, one here, and one here. So let's just open up the door and start bringing these boars in. Let's see. Come on, buddy. In that slot. Put it in there. Come on, buddy. All right. So let's close this one off. This might be a challenge to put the beams in there. We'll have to see. Because I do want to have beams there if I throw the food so it stays there. We'll have to see if this works or not. All right, let's focus on the other boards, and then I'll be back once these are in there as well. All right, we got all 4 boards in there. I'm not too happy with how these 2 are directed here, because when they are breeding, when they are giving birth to their offspring, they should normally fall in between the beams. But now they will fall onto the beams because they are directed that way, which normally should be okay. They will fall off. These piglets do run around and they fall off the beam. But, you know, sometimes you just want to be 100% sure. We might try to turn them around with the foot. And if it doesn't work, we'll have to improvise. Anyway, so what we're going to do, we're going to break down our ramp. All right, so now both of the sides are done. We cleaned everything up. We're going to start now with the feeding locations. And for that, we're going to be building a little bit of a piece there. We're going to be building a little bit of a piece there. We will also build one here and here. Depending on where your animals are looking, you can then feed from what side you want to. But for the moment, what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try to rotate these boards so they eat from here. And that way I can close everything off, and then I can see if I can rotate them again. Because I do want them to look north and south, in all honesty, because that is going to definitely improve the way they are breeding here. Anyway, let's take a door. I'm going to snap this door on the floor. As you can see, I can snap this on a few locations. I can, you know, shift this. We want this to be placed perfectly on the floor like that. So we want it to be onto this floor here. And now we should be able to snap a beam, a wooden beam here, against that. Now let me just zoom in a bit so I can see what's happening. And we're going to snap it against this door so you can see that it's making this space. All right. So now we should be able to snap another beam against that, like that, which is now going to stick out a little bit, but not completely. on that beam, we're now going to snap a short wall. Like that. And like that. And then we're going to snap a new beam against this on this side. Like this. So this is now hanging out a little bit closer than if the beam would stick out. And we can delete this. We don't need this anymore. Let's go. So that's one. And now we're going to have to build a stairs against this. Like this. And like this. And now I'm going to build a ladder against this, just to make sure that nothing can just climb this. We want to make sure that only we can climb this and not the mobs or whatever. I'm just going to build a few stairs like that. That is going to create, first of all, a support. And here we're going to be able to throw food to our boars. So now we've done this side, we're going to do the other side as well. And then we'll focus on the feeding. Alright, so now I have prepared the two sides. We will be doing these on the other side as well. But first of all, I want to rotate these boars. So what I'm going to do, we're going to stand here. You stand against this piece of wood. And we're going to throw a carrot that way. 1 carrot, 2 carrots, just a few carrots. We don't want to feed them yet with what I have. We need to go and get some carrots anyway. So let's just throw that and it's going to fall perfectly on that beam. As you can see right here. Perfect. Alright, I'm going to do the same on the other side. I'm going to throw another 2 carrots there. Perfect. Now it falls perfectly on that beam, as you can see. Alright. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to push this boar. And if I push it far enough, it should rotate and look at the... There we go. Alright. So quickly now we'll close this beam off here. There we go. So now this board is done. I'm going to pick up the carrot again. Because I'm going to try to rotate these boars now to the other side. I prefer them to be looking the other side. So I'm going to push you. Come on, buddy. There's a carrot right there. Did you see the carrot? Did you see the carrot? You stupid boar. If this doesn't work, the only thing I can think of is just build a door and just push them with a door. Because honestly, these creatures can be such an effing pain. So I'm going to build a door. I'm going to open the door. There we go. All right. So now we push the... No, you little bugger. Alright. Let's close this off. Quickly. Alright. Let's now pick up the carrots. Phew! Alright. We got the beams in there. That was a challenge. Now we're going to do... I'm going to open up this side again. The boars are not going to walk out anyway. I will be stuck. And we're going to throw the food on this side and we'll see if we can rotate them so they look both out on this side and we want them to look out on that side as well. As you can see, they're already starting to make some
sweet piggy love.
Which will be happening. We'll be having some piglets soon. But before we really want to get this start going, I want to, make sure that they are rotated right. Alright, now I have the 4 sides ready, so I can feed these boars on each side I want to, depending on where they're standing. As you can see, we already have a little piglet down here. It seems to be already moving around. It might fall down very, very soon if it keeps on moving like that. But as I said, I would like to have my boars rotated. I prefer them to be standing here. So we're going to throw some carrots that way. I'm going to take 2 carrots. I'm going to go and get some carrots soon, so I can get them more food. That's 1. That's 2. Let's do the same on the other side. They do seem to be a little bit far away, the carrots, but... There we go. That should be better. Alright, so let's see if we can push these boars now. So I'm gonna break these woods as well. I'm just gonna break this. So I can push them a little bit backwards, see if they rotate or not. If they don't, we'll have to use the door technique again. And I think we might... Although they are happy, so they are... Well, you are hungry, you little one. See? See there? You see the carrot? No? Alright, so we're going to use the door technique again. We're going to snap a door. There we go. Alright, so this one should move in place now. Good. So this one we can close off. Now I have to do the same here. Come on, buddy. See this carrot there? There. Perfect, boy. Perfect. Alright, let's close this off. Alright, now we have our 2 boars ready, and you can see now they are directed in the right direction. So they will be dropping their kids, their little piglets, through the hole in the back there, without them, being stuck there on the side, as you can see here. So yeah, I'm gonna have to wait until these are hungry before we can turn them around. So in the meantime, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start finishing off this area here. So we're gonna start with doing the roof here. That is, first of all, are gonna protect everything below it, so it's not gonna be attacked by anything because it doesn't see it. And now the boars are directed in the right direction. I just hope this piglet jumps down. If not, I might have to kill it once it's a boar, because the rest will now spawn properly. We won't have any issues anymore. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to get some carrots, and then we're going to feed these a full stack of carrots, so we have a little bit more time of them breeding while we're finishing off this area. Alright, I'll be back. So let me just pick up their carrots that they have now, because the problem is if you have already carrots laying on a position and you throw another carrot, it might collide and the other one might roll off. So I'm just going to take the one away, so we have an empty place to throw it at. Alright, let's throw some food in. I'm just going to give them 50 now. That should last them long enough. Perfect. So now we have all boars being fed. Come on, little one. I know you want to fall down. So most likely I might have to kill it once it becomes a boar. Kill it. Because otherwise these are not going to breed anymore. It seems like they are already not breeding. Because of that piglet. So let's just kill it now. We'll have to turn on my friendly fire. And I'm going to kill it. I'm just going to blank this out, I don't want people to watch this and, feel shocked. Alright, and the piglet is no more. And you can see they're already starting to get it on. Now, that is going to be much better now. The location they are at, the piglets are going to drop down straight in the pit, and that is what I want. So, in the meantime, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start building out the base. I'm going to finish everything off. I'm going to build some cover and stuff like that. But I'm not going to show this on the video. I'm going to leave this up to you. However you feel like doing it, you can see the end result anyway and try to copy it. Alright, so what I did, I opened this side up here. I put a door in there as well. So that way we can have access to the boar farm. We can go down. We can get the resources we need. And we can also just, of course, build a little bit of a platform here so we can easily access that. Let's take a beam. Let's take that beam and snap it against that spot there. That should allow me now to snap a small floor against here. Like that. And now we can snap a large floor against that. All right. So now we are ready to do some stairs. So I'm going to close this side off. Like this, so we don't fall from here. And then we use this area as a stair. So I'm going to just slide down, pick up the wood, and we're going to snap some stairs, ladders instead, like that. Like that. And now we can snap a large floor against that. Need some space to walk around. And then we just turn the stair down again. Can I snap some core wood on the bottom here? Like that. Just as a support. And then we can just walk our way up. Back to the area. That should be okay. Alright. So that's done. We have access to the farm down there. We have access upstairs here. And this is how the finished breeder looks like. 4 boars inside breeding at an incredible pace thanks to the 4-way breeding system. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this. Thanks to the placement of each boar, you are crossbreeding over all boars. To explain this, if you compare this with an original breeder, you had 4 boars next to each other, which resulted in this couple to breed, this couple to breed, and those here as well to breed. Now, thanks to the 4-way breeding, you now have 4 sets of boars breeding all the time. While I would say there's also a diagonal connection, I cannot honestly prove that. But it is clear that the pace this breeder works is insanely quick. What you see right here is the result of 30 minutes of breeding. But we're not done yet. The advantage of this breeder is that you can also use it as a wolf breeder. We do need to make some adjustments, as it's not possible to use 4 wolves in this breeder, as 4 wolves is the limit for an enclosed space of 4 by 4 meters. So that means we can only use 3 wolves. Still, the change is done really quickly, and it's easy to turn your boar breeder into a wolf breeder and vice versa. So, let me clear up the farm, I will remove the carrots, get rid of the boars and destroy the roof, and then we can start the transformation. Alright, as mentioned before, we currently have 4 slots, while we would only use 3. Now, you could say, never mind, I'm just gonna keep it like it is, I'm just gonna put 3 wolves in this, and it will be perfectly fine. And you would be right. Although it seems to me that rearranging the locations does boost the speed on how much puppies you breed. So you want to have the third wolf nice in the center here. So that's what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna break this part, and we're gonna build a little of an area so that we can have a third wolf perfectly in the center, so it has connection with the 2 wolves on the side. So I'm just gonna break all this. Also break this cordwood. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna snap a piece of wood against there. So let's just take a piece here. We're gonna snap that against the cordwoods. Alright, so you can see I snapped it underneath the beam. There. You can see I snapped it underneath the beam. That means I can now break these 2 pieces of cordwood. And we're gonna build 2 short pieces against it now. Like that. And now we can delete this green beam. Now these are gonna be taking the place. Okay, so what do we want to do right now? We're gonna snap a 1 meter beam against that cordwood. Let's hope this holds it, but that should be pretty okay. Like that. And now we're gonna take a cordwood and we're gonna snap a cordwood on top of that. So we're gonna take one of these 2 meter cordwood. We're gonna snap it against that edge. So we snap it here, like that. That way we can delete the meter, and now we have this little piece sticking out like this. We're gonna rotate another piece of cordwood against it like that, and then another piece of cordwood like that. Now you can see we have another beam like this, so there's gonna be a wolf standing on this beam, looking this direction, so that everything that they spawn is gonna drop down. Now I'm gonna break this apart so we have a little bit more space, like this. All right. And now we're just gonna build the enclosure as well. So we're gonna build a short beam here, like that. Another short beam on the side, like that. And now we're gonna snap a long one, a 2 meter beam against that, like this. We can now break this. So this is now gonna be the location here. We're gonna take again our cordwood, snap it below there. So the wolf is gonna be nice and stuck. Another one here. Let's do that. Then snap another one there. There we go. All right. So now we can open this up. We can snap another short cordwood there. And then we can take some half beams. Just finishing it up like that. All right. So there's going to be a wolf in here. There's going to be a wolf in here. And there's going to be a wolf in here. And we want to make sure again, as you can see, we want to make sure that the wolf is looking one here that way. We want the other wolf to look in that way. And the third wolf has to walk in that way. Now you can use the same techniques I showed you during the boar technique. Use the doors, push them around, feed them. That all will work. Of course, if you want to get a wolf in here, you will have to break some parts down. You might have to break your feeder down. It might be pretty simple. Instead of just breaking this down, just snap a 26 angled roof against it, like this. And you can then, of course, push your wolf up here like that, break this open, continue your floor, and then you can push your roof wolf in here. So that's pretty simple without damaging too much of your existing base already. All right. So I'm gonna put the wolves in here and we will be back, and then I'll show you the rate of the breeding as well. All right. I got my 3 wolves in here. And they are looking in the right direction, so one there, one there. So if they have offspring, it will fall down. The same one here, it just falls down in that hole. There is nothing that can keep or hold these little puppies up there, so they will fall down in the breeder. All right, so I'm gonna close up the roof again. And just make sure that we can give them some food. So I'm going to take 20 here, throw it to the wolf. That should fall there. That should be normally just enough. Yep, all right. There we go. All right, I'm going to close this roof off and I will be back with you after that. Check how many wolves we are breeding. All right, I wasn't a big fan of the orange and yellow roof tiles, so I decided to build some wood iron in the base. So now everything is pretty nice and green. So this feels a little bit more safe, a little bit more structural, so I'm happy. But this is a very nice design, if I say it myself. I do like the fact that it's low to the ground, not too high. I know a lot of players don't enjoy building the breeder that high and having to reach it like that. So this is a really nice design, close to the ground. And of course, you don't need to build this in wood. You can build this in stone as well, or marble in the future. In the end, the finishing work is up to you. The only thing that's important is the center point where the boars or the wolves are located. The rest is all up to you. So this is the design I'm using. This is the wolf/boar breeder I like to build. And honestly, I think this is one of the most efficient breeder I have built myself, both for the boar and the wolves. But that is the guide. I hope this was informative to you. I know it was a little bit lengthy. I know it was a long guide, but I want to make sure that all the details were shared. But either way, I hope it helps you out in creating your own breeder. If you have not already, then I would love for you to press that thumbs up before you head out, and I will see you again next time. This was Beeblebum. Goodbye for now.